let's start about that. I mean, September month we always celebrate.
Yeah.
We celebrate where we come from, and a lot of times we look at our traditional aspects, maybe even of our upbringing. But when you look at the music landscape and the heritage of it, how would you sum it up?
Well, for me, I think it's. I would just talk from my own background. I grew up listening to what my parents were listening to, which was mostly, a lot of Sophia Town stuff, a lot of Miriam Makeba, and later grew up, listening to stuff like Marvin Gaye, the international disco stuff came in. And, during that stuff, that's when the bubblegum came in, Abo Bra Chico, Abo Bra Don Laka. And then from there, I was like really moved, by that movement, Abo Bra Hot Sticks Mabuse and Stimela, So therefore, when 1994, as a young person, I became one of the young people who stood up and say, we want to create our own. And this is when we created kwaito music together with a lot of people from Abo Ata, Abo Mtu, Abo Spikiri, Abo Jonina. There's lots of them. It was us young guys that time saying that, we're tired of singing these political things. As the youth of today, this is how we want to create the movement. The movement moved on. Later, kwaito, evolved. We saw a lot of Afropop coming in, Mafigizo, Bongo Muffin. And then later, house music was also in, where we saw young DJs coming up. Abo DJ Tira, Black Coffees, Abo Shims, now, running the game. And then kwaito. Firstborn came in, which is Amapiano, and this is where we are right now.
I love that you refer to kwaito as the firstborn of Amapiano, because I think there was a conversation that we had. I'm going to call him late now, which is ridiculous, with Mapaputsi. He was being interviewed by one of our own, Beasting, and he said that he loves the fact that Amapiano is the first genre to pay homage to kwaito, because the sound has borrowed so much from kwaito lyrically and even the sound itself.
Yeah, that's true. If you can look at for him what Mapaputsi was doing now, you can put him to any Amapiano track. For all these young guys who are in, like Abolim Crazy, to all these guys who are really saying that they are the front vocalists of Amapiano, Mapaputsi will fit in any track. If you can listen to what Dos is doing already, you think, oh, this is a Mendoza. Never is a Graf, Efananai, Mapaputsi. So that's true.
So what then allows you to keep relevant with all these eras, right up until now? Because I think it would take putting a bit of you aside for you to fit in and actually be relevant and be instrumental in all those spaces up until we get here.
Yeah. My DNA is part of dance music. So all these things which I've been talking about are a format of dance music. If you can listen to the Sophia Town vibe, we brought it up with Mafigizo with a twist. And then from there, I come from an era when house music was called international before Abantu Beyazi, when we're playing Amavinyl, Nabo Kanyane, Nabo Christos, Nabo Vinny Da Vinci, were only a few of us. And then from there, house music evolved. We started slowing down the music and the music became slower. And this is how kwaito came in, when we started slowing down house music, creating our own instrumental. So therefore, it came into, we are on a slower beat, which is now equivalent to what Amapiano is. Do you understand? And then fast forward, we started doing our compilations, our Oskido church grooves, you know what I'm saying, doing the BOP, our Zabalaza, we upped up the tempo. And then if you can check out how Amapiano started, they also started slowing down the music and it went back to where kwaito started. So it's sort of like, a cycle. That's why I don't get lost when I'm on a Amapiano track or anything, because it's a DNA of dance music.
And Oskido, you obviously, outside of being at the forefront, you've been in the business of music forever, right? What would you still say that is missing in terms of people understanding the business of the music industry itself. I think we've seen a lot of feuds on our social media. We've seen a lot of stories. There's been horror stories of this record company took me for a ride, or an artist dying poor, or all of that. All of that is still there. And it's not only about educating the young ones that are now at your doorstep, but it feels like even the older generation of the music industry still needs some education when it comes to the music business and how it's run, so that everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Definitely, you've hit it on the nail. We share kanda, especially when you express education, because I think that's what we need now to really educate our, artists. This problem started long back. We are kumbula when Bob Mahlatin came, there was a big hoo-ha. When I first met Brayu, he didn't really understand what publishing is. He was already doing a lot of records, but didn't understand how he gets his money, from publishers. So therefore now we've seen it now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening now with a lot of young artists now in this. We are on a Amapiano wave. They are accusing each other of all this thing. So therefore, we need to start looking seriously at educating, ourselves when it comes to music, so that we can take the music business forward.
And I will even stress that, especially because now Amapiano is an international genre, it's consumed everywhere in the world. I don't know about Asia, but it's consumed, in some parts of the world other than Africa. And that is going to cause even more stress on people that are not maybe so educated in how to handle the music business, because you will remember that if anybody tries and samples anything from Amapiano, because it feels like they don't have their things together, it feels like anybody can take them for a ride, man. Yeah,
remember that our music has always been consumed internationally. It's only now, I think the technology has really pushed it faster. Things like TikTok. Thanks, Judy. Thank you. I don't have my wigs here. So it's always been consumed internationally. If we can look at, for example, Mbube, where it come from, there was a big who, it's been used on Lion King and all that stuff. There was a dispute on that, that thing is still even running now.
Sure.
When I talk about that, when you look at the Lion King story, what's been happening there, it's based on mostly, the sounds from here in Mzansi. So therefore, we really need to step up on that and start looking at the education element. And now it's the more I see it, because I've also made a lot of mistakes in the music industry, but I feel that we need to get together and start seeing what can we do as a nation to start educating the element, because without education, these problems ain't going to stop.
And they put a temper in the music, and that's not what we want at all. And then you became a content creator. How did that even come about? I was like, I do not have the patience, and maybe I'm a horrible person to ask this, but how did it become? Who is this, Julia? How did this? How are we here?
Well, it started during COVID. Okay. During COVID, remember, all of us were locked down. We're not even allowed to even go out of the
We're not allowed to buy Simba chips.
But everyone is gonna die. So I stayed in my house with my kids, and from there they started doing these things. They say, Daddy, you're bored, because most of the time I never had time to sit and explore time with my kids. So I think COVID taught us to say, it's time for you to relax downtown. I know that we lost a lot of people, including my dad, R.I.P. During COVID, but it really taught us to say that we need to take a break. And from there, this is when I started having the connection with my kids. And my daughter came in and says, no, let's try this thing out. And I was saying, no, this is for kids, man. I can't do this. Say, no, let's try it. And they forced me into it. So I did one about 2 or 3 skits. And later I started enjoying it, because when I was doing it, it was putting me on my happy zone. Because when you are creating content, you have to be focused.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be thinking about other things. So from there, it became more of a stress releaser. It gives me a happy moment when I'm doing those tasks and making people laugh. And from there, here I am. We are in the content era. I'm doing a lot now when it comes to content. Now I've got even my vlogs.
I saw. You even
yeah.
have Kimang Pidokski.
Oh, PD Jokes.
Yes, PD Jokes. I'm like, what?
He's my king. He's my king.
Really
Yeah,
taking this
yeah,
up.
yeah. So I'm really enjoying content. I think we are in the content era. People, it's no longer a time where people used to wait for each generations, wait for that. People want to be on their phones. So therefore, I'm enjoying that. It's keeps me going, man. It's a creative. We are in the creative era, as I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely in the creative era. Any way that we're gonna see us Judy featuring in music videos, because I mean, if there's, you've always looked at a holistic thing when it comes to music, and now you're getting into content creation, and I'm just wondering if all those things are now going to be like one big company, so to speak, where we see Sis Judy from time to time, coming up, I don't know.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, with creation, remember, we're in a creative mode. So if it comes up, it will lead itself to that. So it's not something which I can say it won't happen. But if it leads, it will lead. It will land.
Yeah.
But izolenda.
You are in the space, so you would know what is coming up. You would know what people have not experienced yet, and you are seeing it brewing. You're like, this is coming up. When you're looking at Amapiano, what is the next phase of Amapiano? I mean, yes, we are filling dance floors, we are filling clubs, we're filling stadia. What is the next for Amapiano? What are we seeing next?
Well, for me, I think it's the music. Music has to go on. Music has to evolve. Remember, music, it's a soulful thing. It's a spiritual thing. So therefore, for us we want to see our music being, consumed, exported outside, the country.
Yeah.
As I was saying, that now technology is allowing that. I mean, we've seen that with Amapiano now, because a lot of young people, they are creating all these dance moves.
Yeah.
And when you see them, when you're in Japan, you're a young kid, you're really saying, wow, what's this? What Chris Brown or, all these American superstars, they say, wow, did you see that dance move, man? So can I try it, man? Because, it's something new. So therefore, people need to see us. And we've been, in closed doors a lot.
Yeah.
So, and cut diamonds. So they're still discovering. I mean, for the past 2 months, I've been going with Scorpion Kings. We did Central London. I mean, we did Central Park in New York. It was packed. We're in the South in London. It was packed. And for me, what I saw is like, wow, people really love our music. So it's for us to get out there and start being part of the world in terms of the music, so that we start feeling what other artists are doing. If you can look at Bana now, what he's doing, I mean, he's flying the flag of Africa everywhere. Yeah. So that's where we want to be. We make sure that our music penetrates internationally.
And I suppose part of that is also collaborating with people far and wide.
I
think collaborations are incredible, and I know that
definitely
there's a song that you collaborated with Flavor. I mean, from what Trompis to Flavor. It's something incredible to really, like, when you think about it and you sit down, it really, really is something incredible to see. Tell us more about that song.
Yeah, I mean, we need to collaborate a lot. I mean, this it was an idea from AfriSam Bank, the president, Mr. Orama, and he felt that, as African diasporas, we need to collaborate. Because if you can check, there's a lot of Black American artists or creatives. And then when you go to Brazil, Salvador, for example, where we also worked with Olodom, there's lots of, Black people who went there during slavery time.
Yeah.
And so therefore, why don't we start looking ourselves and start saying that, why can't we do this? So when he came with an idea, then from there, they made me to spearhead the project together with Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon is based in the stateside. He's the one who did the Miss Lauryn Hill Miss Education, which has been voted as the all-time best album by Apple Music. So you see, I'm working with big boys.
You're a big boy!
From Kwaito. So therefore, so then it came in, the idea came in like that, which is a brilliant idea to see us as Black people, Africans working together despite, because remember we are displaced all over the world.
Sure.
Then from there, Flavor came in. I've always wanted to work with Flavor. I respect him in terms of the lyrical content, this songwriting, the way he carries himself. And we connected with Flavor and we did this record called Let's Dance. And I was working with the young producer XYs and went to Brazil to add, the Brazilian samba flavor on it, Olodom, and here we are. We've got it, and it's taken from an EP called One Drum, which also features other artists where we've worked with Scorpion Kings, Maporisa and Kabza. We also have Olodom there, and we also worked with the Mali family, Stephen Mali family, and Buju Banton on the album. And lots coming out. So what they call it, the way you did it, that we have to collaborate.
Yeah.
You see, you preempt me. You can just like, we sang yeah. First you spoke about education and say, oh, you hit it. Later you say collaborations, they make us grow. Check. And now I'm talking about all these collabos.
Yeah.
And this is how we can make our music grow.
Yeah.
These collaborations for us to collaborate, because you want to be in your comfort zone. I don't want to be in my comfort zone. Let me go to Lagos and be. And this is how, remember that this is how we can unite as Africans.
Sure.
Because remember this hatred of hating each other. Yeah. It's caused by faceless people who are useless on social media. But we as musicians, when I meet Wizkid or David or whatever, we're cool.
Yeah.
Maporis and they're meeting Wiz, Black Coffee, meeting other African, Tyler right now was meeting other African artists. We are cool.
We are all
do you
good,
understand?
yeah.
So therefore, we have to show the people that we can move. We mustn't be driven by these negative comments which are done, which are on social media about our blackness.
Will you ever retire?
Legends never retire.
Hey, I thought your work speaks for you forever. I didn't think that you would need to.
You got it. Did you hear what I say?
I heard you.
What did I say?
I got it.
What did I say?
You said legends never retire.
Danko.
Legends never retire. And I'm trying to figure out though that,
I always ask people.
Yeah.
If Mam Miriam died at 70 years on stage. If Brayu could blow his trumpet until he's 76 years old. So who the hell is Oskido?
To try and retire when there's so much work to do.
Legends never retire.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm really, really happy today. I don't even want to destroy it any further. We can only wish you the best because from where we are, even probably the youngins that are only starting to get to know you now, maybe they were not there, and them. I think they are just like, of course, man, but he's just getting started, So we are here to wish you all the best, and we can't wait to see what happens yet again, especially with the new feed of musicians, new feed of certain emergence of genres. We cannot wait to see what you do.
Danko, thank you very much, and we really appreciate.
Yeah.
Stay blessed. You can catch me on the socials, at Oskido, I believe. And I'm launching a new festival on the 30th of November.
Tell us.
It's called Oskido's Big Day Out. So what I've done is that I'm curating the music from when we started in kwaito, going into house to where the Amapiano wave is right now. So it's sort of a journey, and I'm glad that
a day out with Oskido.
Yes, it's called Big Day Out. It's happening on the 30th of November in Hadley Park here in Johannesburg. Yeah, you're going to hear more about it.
No, it's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely wild. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Danko.